넌 알아 달콤한 love song 맹세가 말도 돌아서면 결국 낯선 그 someone Sorry I'm an anti-romantic 달아나고 싶어 저 멀리 이미 널 줬는 내 맘이 작은 불씨로 타올라.
Hello there once again. I'm sorry this took me a whole month to make. Depression kinda does that to ya. Any gays, I'm splitting this into 4 parts instead of 3 because A. I want to. B. Odd numbers can eat shit. C. I may be going just a little bit insane. Oh, and this shit was laggy as hell when I was trying to edit it, especially toward the end, so the voice and words may not match up, but I'm tired and sad, so I'm not gonna try and fix it. It's not that bad though in my opinion, but take my opinion with a mountain of salt cause I have shitty takes. Enjoy.
Body Swap PT2. Go read part 1, or else you will be very confused lol. Atsuma's perspective. Atsumu had never actually walked side by side with Iwaizumi alone, but the last thing he'd expect from the spiky-haired boy was that he was such a fast walker. He found that he had to increase the pace of his steps every few minutes in a futile attempt to keep up. Atsumu was practically jogging behind the boy that always seemed to be 1,003 steps ahead of him. He dash. Hey, can we slow down, please? He seems to be out of breath as he gasps for air but doesn't allow himself a moment to stop and regain his energy, determined that if he stopped, he would somehow lose. Atsumu had always been a competitive person, and was never one to back down from a challenge, even if the challenge was crafted by himself for himself, even if Iwaizumi had no clue this was a challenge or strange race of some kind. Atsumu wouldn't lose to him. What's the matter with you today? Usually, you're the one telling me to keep up. Even though Iwaizumi was responding to Atsumu, he didn't slow down his pace at all. The other had even suspected that he had sped up even more. Irritation laced his words, and they came out in a forceful way that made it apparel to Atsumu that Iwaizumi had been wanting his answers all morning. And also, he finally stops, speedily spinning on the balls of his shoe to face the taller. It seemed as though Iwaizumi had remembered something important. Since when did you talk with a country accent? The morning breeze that had picked up was cold and refreshing as it blew past the both of them, filling up the otherwise empty street with a relaxing sound. The sky was dark with the rays of sun barely peeking through the variety of houses and trees in the distance. It was, when looking through a more logical lens, very peaceful. But what wasn't very peaceful was the plethora of negative emotions that had overwhelmed Atsumu in heavy-hitting waves of force. He felt as though he might have lost his balance if he wasn't careful, but of course it was all in his head. His heart had sped up immensely and he had absolutely no idea of how to answer that question, so Atsumu was just left there, opening and closing his mouth over and over like a fish out of water. Iwaizumi stood sternly in front of who he thought was Oikawa with unwavering confidence. His eyebrows arched down ever so slightly, creating gentle but not very noticeable wrinkles in his forehead. His lips also frowned downwards, but his eyes were as cold as ice, no remorse or caring in them whatsoever. But though they were dispassionate, they were also intense, in a good way, and so very captivating that Atsumu thought he could catch himself staring into them all day if he wasn't careful. Noticing that they had been standing in awkward silence, save for the bristle of wind, Atsumu quickly racked his brain for an answer or excuse to the questions Iwaizumi had asked him that would sound realistically like something Oikawa would say. I guess I've just been on the phone with Atsumu a lot, so his accent is kinda rubbing off. Yeah, you know. He tries his best to speak more formally as to not make the other even more suspicious, but finds himself slipping up a bit. Laughing nervously to try and cover up his mistake, Atsumu silently begs Iwaizumi to say something or, even better, turn back around and keep walking forward. But the boy before him only raises an expecting eyebrow, as if to say and, most likely expecting an answer to his first question. An. My knee? Yeah, my knee has just been hurting a lot. So I can't walk as fast as usual. He hopes his responses have been convincing enough to soothe Iwaizumi's concerns, but with the whole accent thing and realizing that he has no idea how Oikawa acts in his relationships, he has no clue if his performance is up to par or if he is failing miserably. But what he sees next almost has his jaw dropping from the pure obscurity of the situation. Iwaizumi's eyes soften, his resolve cracking just a little bit. His tense position, with his arms crossed tightly over his chest, also relaxed the tiniest amount. Raw concern finds its way into his body language as he takes a step towards Atsumu, eyebrows knitting even more than before. "Your knee?" he questions, taking another step toward the other. Atsumu finds it more intimidating than anything else, but he didn't miss the hint of care that had seemed to seep into the harsh edge of his voice. Nodding his head frantically, he takes a step back as he feels Iwaizumi had gotten too close. The spiky-haired boy did not let this go unnoticed as his gorgeous emerald eyes are once again clouded with annoyance and a hint of anger. "What did I say about overworking yourself?" Iwaizumi also takes a step back and Atsumu feels shame plague his mind. He knew that the question wasn't directed at him, but he did have a tendency to overwork himself. Definitely not to the degree that Oikawa had to, but he still did it. Maybe not as much as he used to, though he does still have the urge to sometimes. Hanging his head low, Atsumu decides to answer something more generic than specific, knowing that the other had probably told Oikawa something like, "That it's bad for me." Exactly. He feels like a small child being scolded by his parents. "Kawa," he calls gently, but Atsumu can't find it in himself to meet his green gaze. "Oikawa." Iwaizumi's voice is louder now, but it's still soft. Atsumu still doesn't look up. "Toru, look at me." Atsumu's eyes widened at the mention of Oikawa's first name. It was true that most of his friends opted to call him Atsumu over Miya, but that was only for convenience since he had a twin and all. Usually, calling someone by their first name was a big deal and meant that the two people had a very strong relationship. He hesitantly raises his head and makes eye contact with the other. Guilt creeps its way into Atsuma's thoughts as he sees through the transparent wall of faux annoyance, staring right into the unbelievable amount of love swimming around Iwaizumi's eyes. That look wasn't meant for him, and that was eating Atsumu up from the inside out. "How bad does it hurt?" He's whispering now, almost as if he spoke any louder, he would shatter the vulnerable bubble that had surrounded the two, a bubble forcing them into a world of their own. "It's bearable," Atsumu also whispered, not wanting to worry the other too much, but the pain in his knee was becoming stronger after every passing second. "It was bearable. For now." "You're lying?" he states simply, and that has Atsumu wondering if he was the only one who could read others easily. What if Iwaizumi had seen through him this whole time? What if he knew he was actually Atsumu? But if he did, then why was he playing along? Was it all some sort of twisted joke? But how? I'm no dash. He's not able to finish his sentence before he feels a hand intertwine with his. An electric feeling of shock ripples through Atsumu as he's gently pulled along. He did not expect that. They walk at a much slower pace than before, and Atsumu can feel the contrast between their hands. Oikawa's hand was soft and silky, just like his hair, whilst Iwaizumi's hand was calloused and rough to the touch, probably due to how many times he's hit a volleyball over the net with precision and strength. They continue to walk along in silence, and Atsumu feels more guilt build up inside of him. At school. Once they had arrived at school, Iwaizumi let go of Atsumu's hand, but Atsumu continued to follow him to what looked like the school gym. They walk inside and see a couple of people chatting amongst themselves, and upon closer inspection, Atsumu recognizes them as Oikawa's teammates. Just then, fear strikes Atsumu as he can't seem to remember their names very well. He silently prays that somebody will say their names for him. Look who finally decided to show up. One of them calls, an amused smile playing at their lips. He stands shoulder to shoulder with another boy with dark hair, a nice compliment to his red hair, and they both chuckle to each other. Have the lovebirds finally made their appearance? Another round of giggles circle the room, some of the other people there even laughing along. Atsumu sees Iwaizumi roll his eyes before walking away. Atsumu follows along quickly without saying anything and catches the weird looks that were shot his way. Right. Oikawa was very talkative and playful, but he didn't know what else to do. Hopefully, he could just play it off as his knee hurting, but he doesn't know how far he could take that before real concern started to arise and he could cause a serious change in Oikawa's life. Iwaizumi opens a large metal door and introduces a locker room. It seemed relatively small and cozy, but there also looked to be another door that most likely led to the showers. The other boys had already changed and left the room a mess, but 2 spaces were left empty. It was obvious that those spaces were meant for Iwaizumi and Oikawa. They both walk inside and place their bags on the wooden bench that surrounded the whole room. Iwaizumi unzips his sports bag and pulls out his volleyball jersey. Atsumu parrots his actions. He feels an embarrassed tint of red paint over his cheeks as he realizes that they both have to change in the same room. He compensates by turning around and staring intensely at the wall. Fortunately, Iwaizumi didn't say anything and they both change in silence. Then, they both walk out and Atsumu tries his best to act like Oikawa. Okay, all I have to do is act like myself, but more. The first thing he did was analyze the other members in hopes of somewhat remembering their names. The boys with the red and black hair were still connected by the hip, laughing about something else this time. Then, there was a boy sitting on the benches. He had short blonde hair, wore a permanent frown and had angular eyes, making him look extremely mad, almost like a pissed-off dog. Then, a much sweeter-looking boy stood in the corner, playing with a volleyball, probably to pass the time. He had smooth-looking brown locks and had a gentle face. Lastly, there was a boy who was wearing an inverted colored jersey, signifying that he was the libero. He had a buzz cut and big eyes. He was currently setting up the net. Okay, more. He took a deep breath before looking up to smile at his teammates. Hello everyone. Atsumu tried to act natural, but it came out very stiff. This made the other boys give him even weirder looks. You feelin' okay today? The boy with brown hair asked. He had stopped playing with the volleyball and now had it clutched tightly between his inner elbow and hip as he began slowly making his way over to the others. Never better. Why? This makes Iwaizumi side-eye him. Atsumu suspected that he thought he was trying to cover up his pain. No reason. You just seem a bit off. What's that supposed to mean? Yahaba means you sound like someone trying to impersonate you. Kyutani? That's not what I meant. Oh, what happened to San and Chan? You two are getting close, aren't you? Yeah, soon they'll be calling each other their first names. Matsun and Maki, that's enough out of you two. I, the kind and humble Watari, believe that we should leave Yahaba-san and Mad. Okay, we all know y'all are fucking, but you don't have to be so obvious about it. Hey, you guys. But it's so obvious. Suddenly, the doors open loudly and 2 figures come clumsily stumbling in. Well, to be more specific, only one of the people seemed to be in a rush. The other person was taking their time, slowly ambling in after the other. Sorry we're late. I'm not. What was that? Nothing. Atsumu thought this would be a good time to step up as the captain and hopefully shake off any suspicion from the others. That's all right, you two. Just grab a volleyball and we'll begin. Yeah. He found that with time, suppressing his natural accent became easier and he felt a little bit of confidence begin to rise slowly within him, especially as no one seemed to be weirded out this time as they all listened to him. 30 minutes later. Oikawa-san, you're really experimenting today, huh? Watari said through large gulps of water that seemed to go down his throat with minimal resistance. Oh, well, I'm just in the mood to do something different, you know. Fair enough. Everybody was taking a short 5-minute break after an intense match between themselves. It was fun, Atsumu noticed, playing with the Aoba Joshai team, but he also found himself missing his own team more. Iwaizumi called, getting his attention. Atsumu took a deep breath and prepared himself for what was inevitable. Yes, Iwa-chan. Even uttering those words felt wrong on so many levels. Atsumu had to stop himself from cringing as they left his mouth forcefully. Nobody even bats an eyelash at the nickname, not even the red and black-haired boys Maki and Matsun. He remembers that love to tease, so Atsumu assumes that it must be pretty normal. Can you set me a ball real quick? Atsumu raises an eyebrow at the request. You can't wait 5 minutes until the break is over. He retorts but immediately regrets it when Iwaizumi's eyebrows knit down again. Confusion is evident on his face. Just do it, he says. And there is just something about his harsh tone that makes Atsumu feel as though he couldn't refuse. Fine. Placing the water bottle that was previously in his hand down, Iwaizumi and Atsumu both make their way back to the court. Atsumu picks up the ball lying on the floor on his way and they both stand on the same side of the net. Atsumu gets into position and sets the ball where he thinks is easiest for Iwaizumi to hit. The ball flies over the net and lands harshly on the floor with a loud squeaky noise. It then bounced away and finally rested by the doors. Iwaizumi makes a noise that sounded like he was deep in thought before walking away without explaining anything. Now it was Atsumu's time to be confused. What was that for? After practice, everybody had changed back into their school uniform and was now ready to make their way to their respective classes. See you guys for after school practice. Yeah, see you, and with that final goodbye, they all parted ways. Atsumu panics to find a timetable and frantically searches Oikawa's pockets for one. Relief washes over him as he feels a folded piece of paper in the blazer pocket. Atsumu fishes it out and opens it up only to realize he now had another problem. He didn't even know where any of the classes were in the first place. He sees his first class is Maths in 1.22, but he had no clue where 1.22 was. More panic infiltrates his mind and he doesn't know what to do. Krapikawa, we have the same class. Come, it's Iwaizumi's voice that snaps him out of his panicked state. A strong hand places itself on his shoulder and he is dragged along by sheer strength. Realizing that he was being dragged like a rag doll, Atsumu moves his legs along with Iwaizumi and is once again shocked at how fast he is at walking. They arrive at an orange door after walking up a flight of stairs and take their seats at their desks. Luckily for Atsumu, Oikawa's desk was right next to Iwaizumi's, so he didn't have to worry about sitting in someone else's seat. Speaking of Oikawa, Atsumu makes a mental note to text him back when break time rolled around, whenever that was. He takes off his backpack and pulls out a couple of books that looked maths related and took out a pencil case as well. He sets the equipment down neatly across the wooden desk and feels proud of himself. But it's destroyed only seconds later as a plastic bag is smashed down on his desk. Atsumu looks up to see two girls looking down at him, excitement evident on their faces. "See, can I help you?" Atsumu has to suppress the urge to shout at them, knowing Oikawa loved to indulge in his fans instead of scaring them off as he did. They had just ruined his desk and now were expecting him to be grateful for some half-burnt cookies he doesn't want? "Oikawa-san, I made you some cookies." "What are you saying? Idiot, I'm the one who made him the cookies." "Moron, you just stood there while I did all the work?" "Oikawa-san, don't listen to her, she's out of her mind." "Why, you little dash girls? Sit down now." The teacher had just walked into the room. He had long black hair that was loosely tied back into a messy bun. He seemed to be in a rush as the first button of his shirt was undone, tie loosely hanging from his neck and a small backpack hanging from a broad shoulder. It was unzipped with books practically falling out of it. The girls scurry to take their seats and the teacher places his bag down on the table, searching through it to pull out the things he'd need to teach the class. Break time. Finally, a metallic choir sings its way around the school, every classroom flooding with the ringing sound as the bells go off, signifying that it was time for the 15-minute break between lessons. Atsumu quickly packs his bag and slips into the large crowd of students, hoping to lose Iwaizumi, who had attempted to follow him. "Oi, Shitikawa," he calls, but Atsumu keeps his head low and keeps speed walking down the hallway. Fortunately, another class had been let out and dozens of students came pouring out the door, each of them pushing and shoving their ways to the staircase. They created a thick wall between the two, and Atsumu hears his voice fade away, overtaken by the hundreds of conversations and shouting going on around them. Atsumu is finally shoved outside and is granted a breath of fresh air. But the relief is short-lived as he remembers what he was supposed to be doing right now. Quickly, he rushes to find the bathroom. Thankfully it was pretty easy to find and practically empty. He locks himself into an empty stall and pulls out Oikawa's phone, turning it on and punching in the password before opening contacts and clicking on his own name. Oikawa and Atsumu's private chat. 2 unopened messages from Tsumu. "I don't know BTW, your brother's hella mean. Icker. Anyway, it's break time for you too, right? Red." Tsumu is typing. "Yes bitch, so what do you think is going on?" "Well, obviously we switched bodies, right? Kinda gathered that. Do you remember what happened last night?" "Or fom. Well, all I remember is leaving my house feeling all excited, but then I can't remember anything else. What about you?" "The last thing I remember is coming home from school. Really? So we're both clueless? Yeah, seems that way. What if we're stuck like this forever? Calm down, okay? You are gonna make me panic. But I don't wanna be you. That came out wrong. Yeah, okay, well I don't really wanna be you either. What? Why? 'Cause I woke up in your boyfriend's bed. It was so fucking awkward I wanted to die. Wait, did you guys do anything? ISTG Mia Atsumu, if you slept with my boyfriend I'll never forgive you. Ew, God, no we didn't. Oh thank fucking God. But he kissed me. Ew ew. Why am I angry at Iwa-chan? He didn't even do anything. Ew ew. Help, I can't stop imagining it. Don't worry hun, I'm in your body, so he thought it was you. I guess that makes it a little better. Well, how was your morning? Horrible. I was abused by your twin brother. LMAO, what did he do? This time? He threw 3 shoes at me. That's it? That's it? They hurt. Yeah, but he usually does so much worse, so. Do I need to call Child Protection Services? Maybe. Are we gonna meet up after school or what? No we can't. YTF not. You ain't got plans with my boyfriend, do ya? No, but you have plans with mine. Huh? Yeah. Me and Omi-kun have been planning to meet up for weeks now. He's expecting me to show up at his house after school and I was gonna stay there for the weekend. I even have a bag packed and everything. No. What do you mean no? I mean no, I'm canceling. You can't. And why is that? Because we haven't seen each other in so long. Don't ruin this for me, Kawa. Fine. Thank you so much. I don't know where his house is, though, or how I'm supposed to act around him and shit. Don't worry babes, I'll send you his locations. And if you just read our chats I think you can grasp an idea of how you're supposed to act. Sigh, okay thanks. But, don't scroll too far up. Do you have anything that you need to tell me? Like about your team and home life and how to act around people? Well, always respect Kida-san, no matter what. You can get rude to pretty much anybody else, but don't take it too far. Unless you're arguing with Samu, then please do take it far. Oh yeah, when you two are arguing, don't defend yourself, just attack him. And around Omi, don't be an asshole, okay? And don't reject his advances, unless they go too far, you know. If you do he'll understand, but it will make him feel insecure and I hate making him insecure. That's pretty much it. Anything I should know? Yeah, don't avoid Iwa-chan. If you do then he'll know something is wrong. And don't tell him your knee hurts. He knows that. I'd only tell him if it hurt really bad, like at the point of collapse. I don't know what your pain tolerance is, but don't ever use my knee as an excuse. Please. With the other members, be carefree and try not to get into any arguments. Of course, if one of them are being assholes, then fight back, but don't start an argument. Oh, and never argue with Iwa-chan. You can tease him, but arguing is too far. With my parents and siblings, just be respectful. Unless it's my little brother, then you can beat the shit out of that maggot. I think that's it. Okay, cool. Anywho, let's talk more after school, okay? Okay. Bye. Bye. Oikawa's perspective. A Cyrax through Oikawa's form, bones rattling in his body as he feels a heavy, unpleasant ache settle in his stomach. He was not looking forward to this. He exits the chat with Atsumu and scans the list of names and tries to find Sakusa's. He finds it listed as Omi. Oikawa chuckles a little bit, but knows he has no place to judge as he also has Iwa-chan named something similar in his phone. Opening the chat he scrolls up to the beginning of the most recent conversation that seemed to be about a week and a bit ago. I sincerely apologize for whatever this next part is. Atsumu and Sakusa's private messages, Wednesday 10:04 p.m. Mia. Mia? Oh no. Yes? What did I say about changing my name? Never change my name or whatever. And what did you do? I changed it. Don't do it again. Omi changed his name to Sakusa. But it was so cutie. Okay, and? Sumu changed Sakusa to Omi-kun. Mia. You can't deny its cuteness. And why are you still using my family name? We've been dating for months. Omi-kun has changed Sumo to pain in the ass. You're so rude. That's what you get. Pain in the ass changed Omi-kun to Mini. Really, Atsu? Ha, you called me Atsu, that means you're not mad anymore. Atsu, you're really pushing your luck. Hehe, Atsu again, huh? I guess you just love me that much. Pain in the ass changed his name to Sakusa Kiyomi's one true love. Why in the world would you name yourself that? 'Cause it's the truth, you can't deny the truth, Omi. And what if it is? Huh? I said, what if you are my one true love? Omi, you're so cute. Sakusa Kiyomi's one true love changed Mina to Omi Omi. Sakusa Kiyomi's one true love changed his name to Atsumu the Great. Istk, you're literally a 7-year-old. No, even 7-year-olds are more mature than you. What can I say? I'm just a superior being. I am not even going to fight you anymore. Because, you know, I've been spitting nothing but facts. Please stop. Again. Don't make me block you. I'm not joking, Mia. That's it. You can no longer send direct messages to this user. Click here to read more. Wait. Message not sent. Omi Omi. Message not sent. Jace Jabzio, I am so dry. Message not sent. Asterisk Soror. Message not sent. Asterisk Sawyer. Message not sent. Asterisk sorry damn it. Message not sent. You have been unblocked. Messages have been sent. I knew you loved me. No. So, I'm sorry. For what? I can't make it this weekend. What? It's my cousin Komura's birthday on Sunday and I have to stay home and help my parents plan and prepare his party. But, we planned this visit for so long. I know, I'm sorry. Can we reschedule for next weekend? Omi-kun, we haven't seen each other for 5 months. I don't think I can wait any longer. Atsu, please. It's Komura's birthday. I can't do anything about it. Fine. We can reschedule for next weekend then. Thank you, my love, and once again, I'm sorry. It's fine. I just miss you so much. I know, and I miss you too, but we'll see each other very soon, I promise. Next week will be perfect. I'll make sure of it. Okay. Oh, I've been wondering something for a while and was gonna bring it up this weekend, but since we're rescheduling I might as well ask now. What is it, love? Well, I was just thinking that when you come over, we don't get to be by ourselves all that often since my house is pretty chaotic. But, I know that both your parents work on Saturday, so your house would be empty, right? So, my question is, can I come over to your house next week so we can have some alone time without getting interrupted by my annoying family? Oh, sure, I don't see why not. Yay, thank you Omi-kun. Anything for you, Atsu. Anyway, are you free to get on a call? Yes. Great, I'll call you. Okay. Incoming call from Omi Omi. Accept or decline. Call accepted. Call ended. Call time, 4 hours 57 minutes and 22 seconds. Oikawa laughed at the phone clutched tightly between his hands, still getting used to their color and shape. He jumps as he hears the fake blonde's name shouted, the familiar scream directed at him. Idiot? Ya comin' or not? Oikawa fights the urge to insult the silver-haired boy as he makes his way over to him and a couple of other people gathered around him. He recognizes them as Atsuma's classmates and volleyball team members. Hitsumo, uttered a boy with brown hair, eyes glued to his phone with an uninterested look on his face. He doesn't raise his eyes to meet the other or use any honorifics, so Oikawa assumes that Atsumo and this boy are close. Hisuna. He beams, thankful that he had taken some time one day to memorize his friends and match faces with names. At the time, Oikawa had no clue why he had felt the need to do such a thing, but he feels relieved that past him had somehow sensed something like this happening. Hello, Atsumu. Another boy says almost emotionlessly, but there was a hint of happiness in his voice that Oikawa was able to pick up on. He smiles and bows his head slightly to the other. Kida, he remembers, in the long text Atsumu had sent he referred to the white-haired boy as San, so the blonde must have respected him. Good morning, Kida-san. He smiles softly before looking at the next person stood closely to Kida. They don't even acknowledge each other, but something about how they lean on each other's shoulders makes it look like they may be a little more than friends. Morning, Atsumu. Morning?
And there we have it. I hope you liked it, cause I didn't. IDK when part 3 will be out, but I'll try my best to upload it sooner than this one. No promises though. Please like, subscribe and comment. Please comment whenever I see a nice comment, it makes my day and it also motivates me to work on the story. If you want the third part uploaded sooner, then comment something you liked about the video and it will make me cry tears of joy. No cap. Okay, bye.
Just walk the walk tonight. 'Cause